Hi everyone, and welcome to Touchbase Thursday for August 13th. I had to cheat tonight and look at my my computer. Hi everyone. For any of you that are new joining me, I am Kim Vogel, and I'm a demonstrator with Stampin Up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And tonight I'm going to be sharing with you some awesome projects using the Pointsettia Petal Bundle. And I'm just going to give this a moment for all of you to find me live. Please comment. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching on replay, please type in replay. And we will get started here in just a couple of minutes. And yeah, so let me just make sure that I am able to see your guys' comments. You're able to see me. There we go. I see Karen and Patty and Missy and Kay. So welcome, ladies. Welcome to Touchbase Thursday for August 13th. I'm really excited about this bundle that I'm going to be sharing with you because it is probably one of, I have a little bug flying around my area. So if you see me trying to catch it, that's what's going on. Did I get it, Claire? Oh, you need to get that thing. Anyway, but the bundle that I'm sharing with you guys tonight is absolutely one of my favorites ever. And so I'm really excited to be sharing it with you guys. And it is the Poinsettia Petal, and it's in the annual or holiday catalog. And I got that bug. Sorry, I was distracted for a little bit. But I got this bundle, one of my first ones out of the catalog, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think you're going to see why when you see the pretty cards that I've created for you tonight. And then I'm going to showcase a 3D project that I whipped together last night as well. So I got to tell you guys a funny story because I see that Shelby is on, but I was talking to a friend last night about having to get into the basement to finish my project, so there wouldn't be a Facebook Live tonight. And I accidentally sent that message to Shelby because her and I were talking about something on Facebook Messenger right before I was talking to my other friend. And long story short, Shelby writes back and says, "Yeah, you better get in the basement. You better do a Facebook Live tomorrow night." So it was just really cute. I see that she popped on, so I had to share that story with you guys. So yeah, I have another new top on. A couple of you commented on it. I love these new shirts that I've been getting. So I'm going to put a plug in for her because she's amazing. Jennifer Gulch. She's a Stampin' Up demonstrator, but she also sells LuLaRoe. This is actually a LuLaRoe shirt, and I love them. It's called the Olive brand, and it's called the Tulip sleeves. And I think I bought I think I own now 9 of them. So you guys have probably seen maybe 4 or 5 of them, but I love it. So anyway, couple of things I have in the way of announcements. I'm not going to talk real long with you all tonight because I have got to be off by 10 to 8. I have to pick up my daughter Natalie has dance team practice tonight. Usually her dance team practice, they do the whole social distancing outside at the high school, and normally that takes place in the mornings from 8:30 until 10:30, but this week her one coach is on vacation, and so her assistant coach is doing it and has to do the class or the practice at night because of her work schedule. So anyway, so my husband dropped her off, but I have to do the pickup. Anyway, yeah, about 10 to 5 to I need to be on the road to go pick her up from her practice. But anyway, so just a couple of things I have in the way of announcements in our lives the last couple of weeks. My girls have been busy babysitting. I sure miss them not being home. They were home before they kept up on the laundry and the dishes, and they're still doing a pretty good job with that. But it's kind of like, gotten back to where we were in school all day, and so all the stuff gets done for the evening. So I do definitely miss them being home, but they will be doing school online for the first 12 weeks. And I went back and forth with that decision, but I'm finally at peace with my decision, and they're excited. So we've been setting up 2 workstations in 2 different rooms so that they can do their online learning and stuff. And yeah, the only thing we're waiting on, there's a school board meeting in our district tonight because Natalie was going to be going to our area tech center for the CENA program. She wants to get into nursing when she gets out of high school and wanted to do the CENA program through our technical center. And they're not sure how they're going to be doing that or if that will even be an option yet. So we're kind of waiting to see how that's going to play out for her. But she said, "Mom, I'm okay if I don't get to do it. I'd rather be safe, and I can always make up stuff later to get where I want to be in life. We need to do the right thing." And I was so proud of her for saying that. So anyway, So yeah, we bought another nice chair, office chair that Natalie's going to use in our dining room, our formal dining room for her school workstation. Claire's going to be in the one that I use for my workstation. So I'm getting kicked out of my brand new workstation that I just redid for all of my, be able to sit and do my Stampin' Up stuff when I am on my computer and all of that. But we're going to make it work. It'll be just fine, I hope. So anyway, that's what I have in the way of announcements. My granddaughter's doing amazingly well. She'll be 4 months old tomorrow already. Time goes so fast, but we are really enjoying her as well. I am not going to forget to do the sharing things right away. Last time I forgot and did them at the very end. So anyway, the two items that I had up for grabs last week, if you shared my video, was the butterfly gems, and then I had the Whisper White crinkle ribbon. And the winner of the butterfly gems is Robin Wiltsey, so congratulations to Robin. And then the winner of the white crinkle ribbon is Marilyn Skorker. So congratulations to Robin and Marilyn. And then what I have up for grabs this week is 2 bolts of ribbon. I have a bolt of, this is one of my favorite ribbons, the Rococo Rose ribbon with it's a linen ribbon, and then the actual linen braided ribbon. So we'll pick 2 winners to receive that next week. And then just a couple of my events that I have going on right now. So if you purchased or you're doing online bingo next Wednesday, kits are going out tomorrow. I have them all lined up on my table. I just got to package them, get labels on them, and so they will be going out tomorrow. And I do have 2 extra kits available if anybody wants to last minute join the fun of doing my online bingo. It is this coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It's all done through a Facebook group, so you can just let me know if that's something you might be interested in doing. Cost is $35. We play 6 games of bingo. You get 4 cards, a bolt of ribbon, your bingo cards, your bingo chips, all kinds of fun stuff in your little kit. And then my virtual party is August 26th. And so those make and take kits will go out next week. I'm actually finishing all of the designing on them tonight after my Facebook Live and once I get home. My virtual party is what I do every quarter. So some of you may have seen it before, where it's a Facebook event where I have posts that go out. We play games. I do ordering promotions. I showcase different products, different cards, different things that I've made. It's a ton of work, but I love doing it, and I think it's pretty well received by those of you that participate. And there's a link to join. If you've already been part of my virtual Facebook parties, you're already in the Facebook group for them. If not, I will give the link here in the description of my video tonight after I get done and post the descriptions and stuff. You'll be able to click on that. But I know we've also posted it. When I say we've, my daughter-in-law Nicole has been helping me a lot with my Facebook posts and helping me stay on track of things the last couple weeks. And so thank you to her. I have a whole slew of people that help me behind the scenes, and I could never do it without them. But I know that she's made a couple posts where she put the link for you guys to be able to click and join for that as well. And then I've got all of my classes for the month of August are still open. So if things that you've seen, my gnome class, a couple of the cards you're going to be seeing tonight are part of my Poinsettia class. I have a hippo class, and I have the hippo happiness, and what's the other one? I'm trying to think here. The hippo happiness, and then the field of flowers. Had to think about that. And then I also have a couple scrapbook mini albums open. Well, the peony one is open right now. I think we're opening up the World of Good one soon. I don't like to have everything open too fast because I can't keep up with it, and so it's easier for me to do it a little bit in a more realistic approach that I can handle. So anyway, with that, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what you're going to be seeing tonight. So I'm going to be showcasing cards that I created using the Pointsettia Petals stamp set and coordinating poinsettia dies. And I was going to show this last week, but the gnomes won. So gnomes it was for last week. So what you're seeing is some cards and projects that I made. A couple of them are my class cards, but a couple of them are projects that I just created for my Facebook Live tonight. And I'm hoping that what I'm going to be showcasing for you guys will give you a good little idea of all the different things that you can create with this product suite. Different ways you can make the poinsettias look depending on how you fold them, how you curl them with your bone folder, things along along that nature. So with that, I'm going to transition my camera. I'm down, like I said, I'm going to get stamping earlier because I know I've got to keep track of the time to be able to pick up my daughter tonight at 8. So I'm going to be going only about 45 minutes. So hopefully I can get through all that I want to in those 45 minutes. So with that, I'm going to transition my camera down. And first of all, please, well, a couple of you, please comment to how my volume is, because I am using that microphone the last couple times, and I haven't had any comments that my voice has been coming in and out. And then once I transition my camera down, I am unplugging the microphone and using the camera, my camera volume, and I think it's been working pretty good. But I'd love to know that feedback just so I can make sure that I provide the best experience for all of you. So with that, I am going to transition the camera down, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so once again, you're going to see a little sneak peek of all of my cards and projects that I'll be sharing with you tonight. Then I'm going to take them away, and we're going to kind of go over all of the products in the suite and everything like that, so you can kind of get a good idea of the things that I have. Okay, so I need to restart here. My computer is being silly, so bear with me here. Okay, so I'm going to pull all those away. So you guys can't see them all now. That was your little sneak peek. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys is the actual bundle that's in the catalog, and just kind of what that looks like. So what you have in the catalog is you have it's called Poinsettia Play Suite, but I like to call it the Poinsettia Petals because, here we go. This is some of the samples in the catalog. Absolutely gorgeous. And I know most of you probably seen the catalog. And then this is the all the awesome products that you saw me do a sneak peek on. So we have some Poinsettia Place Designer Series paper, which is gorgeous. And then you have this Plush Poinsettia Designer Series paper, and I'll be showing you guys that. That is gorgeous. And then you have the actual bundle itself, the stamp set and coordinating dies, as well as the beaded pearls, which those are awesome. And then the bolt of ribbon that coordinates with this product suite as well. So with that, let me show you the Designer Series paper first. So this Designer Series paper is 6 different patterns, and the one piece is well used because I used it for a lot of my cards because I already cut for this class. But this is one of the patterns. And then you have this one right here with some pine cones on the back. And then this one with this wood grain on the back, and I really like that wood grain. The wood grain is really, really cool. And then poinsettias here with the two different colors of green, and then the all green. Oh good, you guys are commenting that my sound is good. I'm excited to hear that because, you know, I was a little worried there. This one I think is really pretty too. And then solid old olive on the back of that. And then more of the pine cones. And then like the pine cone leaves on the back, or like I'm not sure what you want to call them, like a pine tree. So those are the Designer Series paper patterns. What I really want to show you though is this Plush Poinsettia specialty paper, because this paper is, I think, cream of the crop here. Let me pull out one of all of them so that you can see it. And then I'm going to show you, I'll put a piece of paper underneath so you can see the detail on each one of these, because it is really, really cool. Okay, here we go. So this paper is amazing. Let me bring in one of my solid pieces, my card base of one of these cards so you guys can see. So it's kind of like a vellum, but yet it's flocked. So it's kind of got like the velvety feel to it where you see the white. And if you put it underneath the solid, you can obviously see it a lot better. But you have some here that are poinsettias, which is just gorgeous. And then you have a pattern here that looks like this. And then finally a pattern that looks like this. Very nice. I really, really like it. I think it looks really nice. And you're going to see how I used it in some of my cards when I get going here in just a little bit. The other thing I want to show you, and I don't think I actually brought any of it to my table with me, but it's some of the Red Velvet Designer Series paper. And I really like that. You're going to see it here with my one poinsettia that I did. Isn't that neat? Look at that. So that is red velvet paper. Can you see the detail in that flower? I'm going to show you the dies and stamp set next, and you'll be able to see how easy it is to get that look from these dies. So let me bring in that next, and you're going to see kind of how I did a card where I stamped with it, and a card where I did most of them where I just cut out the flowers, or the petals to the poinsettia. So this is the Poinsettia Place stamp set, and you can see here that you got different size of the different, so you can layer them, and this right here is not true to size, so I'm going to pull it out here, and you can see that you would layer, you know, this one on top of the bigger one and then the smaller one on, so you could actually stamp them first and then cut them out, or you could just cut them out, which is what I've done on this one right here. There's no stamping, it's just cut out. Then I'm going to show you the dies. Now my dies have already been very well used for this because I've cut a class for this already. I have a class coming up this Monday, and it's probably going to be one of my most popular classes, both online and here in my basement. But what you do is you have these solid pieces. So again, you can see, again, mine are going to be well used. Bear with me. But they all kind of line up and go together. Okay, so there's these. There should be one more, I think. Maybe not. Maybe there is just the 3. But then you also have, so let me just go with the big one and show you. So you could just cut this out if you wanted to without any design pattern in it. Or you could put this in the inside. You just kind of have to line up where they go. So you look for the shape that kind of looks like that, which is this one, whoops, right here. So you would just line them up together like that and run them through your Big Shot or your new Stampin' Emboss cutting machine that was coming out. So I should mention that it's open for customers to purchase on September 1st. It's a demonstrator. We were able to get our hands on it earlier, so we already have it. But yeah, you just put them together like that, and it will cut and put that texture in them at the same time. Now I found it a little bit more of a definitive line through it if you ran it through your Big Shot a couple of times, which is what I did. I ran it back, and then I ran it forward, then I ran it back. So and I gotta tell you guys, my computer has crashed on me. So here I come back. So I was gonna say, if I'm not answering some of your questions, I will, but it's starting to come back right now. So hopefully I can get reloaded here. So if you haven't heard me answering some of you, that's why. But I think my internet went down for just a bit, but it didn't affect my, I went back to my data backup. So hey, my system worked. It didn't fail me. So anyway, yeah, here we go. Okay, I can see comments again. Woohoo! So, and Karen, you're welcome. I'm glad that you liked me showing you that vellum. I just saw that comment come through. So, okay, so those are the dies that I think are just amazing. And next I'm going to actually show you guys a card that we're going to make together. Now, when I did my cards for tonight's class, I wanted to show you both some traditional cards and some non-traditional cards. So I'm going to actually start with the one that I have out here, which is the really pretty poinsettia card using that red vellum. Look how gorgeous that is. I mean the red velvet. And then I incorporated some of that awesome paper that you guys all liked on there, right? So I started with a piece of the Garden Green cardstock that is cut 5.5 by 8.5. This is the card base. And then I have a piece of Real Red. Again, this first one I went with, hi Chris, I went with my traditional colors of Christmas. So Real Red, 5.25 by 4. Then a piece of that awesome vellum that is 5 by 3 3/4. You can see how pretty that looks coming through there. Now, because this is see-through, I didn't want to use a bunch of adhesive on that. So what I did to actually glue this down is I simply did my glue dots in the 4 corners of this, and it was just enough to kind of glue this down. So let me put my glue dots here in the 4 corners. Maybe. There we go. Didn't know if I did the last one, but I did. And it's going to layer on here perfectly with a little bit of a border around it. So that works really good. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper. This is the pretty pine cone, and that I just adhered down to my card. Now I'm going to teach you guys a little bit of a tip that I learned with this Stampin' Seal. I know that I told you before I like the Stampin' Seal Plus better, but I found a little tip that works with the Stampin' Seal, and it really works a lot easier when you incorporate this little tip. So when you go to use it, what you're going to do is you're going to roll it, and you're going to bring it up and snap it off. And when you do that, it stops it where you need it to stop, and it makes it so much easier to be able to use it. So that's just a little tip that I've been practicing with, and it's been working a lot better. Okay, then we're going to use this ribbon. Now this is the ribbon that's part of the product bundle, and it's kind of sheer in the middle. It has a really nice border around it. Really like it. And I put that right around the top of this card. So I'm just going to put that on with some glue dots again. And again, for those of you that are new to watching me, you might be seeing me apply my ribbon a little bit differently than what you're used to, but I just go around the sides with a glue dot. So it's got a glue dot on each end. This one I didn't get one on, so didn't stick to it. Let me get one. There we go. So I just put a glue dot on each end of that, and then I wrap it around, and then that glue dot will just kind of secure this in place for me. There we go. And then I take another little piece of the ribbon. Hi Pam, welcome from North Carolina. I'm glad that you are watching with us tonight. And then I'm just going to tie this around here like so. And then I'm just going to trim off these. And then I'm going to adhere this down to my card. Works a lot easier when you do that little bringing it up and flipping it. And I'm just going to adhere this down. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use assemble my little flower, my vellum flower. Or vellum, I call it a flower. I'm so used to talking about sunflowers, but my vellum poinsettia. So here you can see I've got the 3 different sizes, and then I did the one for the middle, that's the smaller one. And what you're going to do when you assemble these is you're going to offset them. So you don't want to kind of put them on top of each other. You want to offset them a little bit. So we're going to kind of adhere them like this and offset each of those petals. So, and I just used some glue dots to assemble these. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the middle of that one, and I'm going to adhere it down to the center there. And then I'm going to take my next one, do the same thing, put a glue dot on it, and I'm going to assemble that one like that. Isn't that so pretty? So these vellum, the red vellum comes 12 by 12, and it is real felt paper. Yes, it is, Beth. It's kind of like cardboard on the back, but the front is definitely velvet. It is gorgeous. To me, it's designed for these poinsettias. It isn't part of the actual, I don't think it's part of the actual poinsettia stuff. No, it is not. But it should have been, because I feel it's perfect for that. But it's not actually part of that product suite. It's back in the catalog a little bit further. Okay, so there you have the poinsettia. Let me move over. The neat thing with doing the bow the way I did it is I can move this over to the side to accommodate room for my poinsettia to go right there. And I think on this one I may have actually used 2 of the bigger ones, but I didn't cut those out, 2 of them. So you can see it still works with what I've got. I only cut out, I believe, 1 for them. And I'm just going to put a dimensional, actually I'm going to put a couple dimensionals on there, because what's going to happen is this poinsettia is going to go right on top of my ribbon. And so with it going on top of my ribbon, I don't want that center to be on the ribbon, because then it's only going to stick to the ribbon and it won't stick to the rest of the card, and then it's going to kind of be floppy. So I'm just going to adhere that down like that. And then I'm going to show you guys these awesome pearls. Now these pearls are gorgeous. So they are already designed with 3 in a little clump like that. Isn't that pretty? These pearls cost $8, and you get, let me look at the thing. You get 18 of them. 18 of them. And it just dresses up those things so much. I just love it. So again, I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on this because I want to have a good coverage with it. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle like that. Look at how pretty, so pretty. And then I have a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This crumb cake is cut 3/4 of an inch by, I think it's 2.5. And I'm going to use the Early Espresso ink, and I'm just going to stamp Merry Christmas on it. The Merry Christmas sentiment does come from the Pointsettia Petals stamp set down here on the bottom. So I am going to stamp Merry Christmas on there, just in the middle. There we go. And then I'm going to cut out a little banner on the end. Not too much because I stamped pretty close to the end, but enough that it'll give it a little bit of design. And then that's going to go on with some dimensionals. You guys remember how the last few videos I've always been using my old dimensionals and all the ones with all of the sides? I splurged tonight. I got myself a brand new, spanking brand new sheet of dimensionals. Go me. I'm like, I deserve a new one tonight. So anyway, I'm going to put that here on the bottom. And look at that beautiful card. And it's not really, the poinsettia dies did all the work for me, and those little pearls. So now you might be asking yourself, okay, those pearls are beautiful, but how would I mail that card? So yes, you may have to put a little bit more postage on these cards. I would definitely check with your post office. Different post offices are different. A lot of them follow the rule that if the card you're sending will fit in their 1/4 inch slot that they have, then you don't have to pay extra. But this, you may have to pay a little bit extra if it's a card that, you know, but for me, I would pay the extra to send somebody that I really like a beautiful card like this. Or these cards are really great for just handing out instead if you didn't want to, you know, you could hand these cards out to people at Christmas time that you might see or that kind of thing. But I do think those pearls just offset it nicely. Now, if you're looking at the bundle and you're like, okay, I really don't want the pearls because there's so much, you know, they're too much for me to have to pay if I send too many cards or whatever. There is an option in the dies. Let me bring the dies back in. There is an option in the dies that has a little center, right here it is, that you can cut out to put on there instead. So there is another option for you to use. You don't have to use those pearls, or you could have just ended it with this little one right here too, which is the last one that I put on. So, you know, there is other options. You don't have to have the pearls. I just love the pearls personally, and so I have to have it because yeah, love it. Okay, so there is card number 1 for you guys. So the next card that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to go out of the order that I have them in here because worst case scenario, if I don't get to them all, I can show you guys them and explain it a little bit. But I want to make sure I show you guys a card that I created where I actually stamped the flower and then cut it out. So you can kind of see how that looks versus the die that did the impression. So let me show you this card right here. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, this card, you're going to notice that my flower goes down. It does not come up like, let me bring on the other one here. This one kind of comes up. This one's designed kind of looks like it's going down. And so I'm going to show you guys how I did that. Now, what I did in advance is I used cherry cobbler paper. And what I did, let me unplug this. I don't think I need this thing anymore. I want to get this cord out of the way. Sorry, guys. Okay. So what I did in advance is I used the cherry cobbler cardstock, and I heat embossed using gold embossing powder all of these different shapes. So what I did, well, I used a lot here, but I'm not sure how many I'm going to use on mine. I think I did 2 of the bigger ones. I think I did, let me see, 1, 2, 3, there's 5 of them. So I think I used 2 of the bigger ones, 1 of these, and then I think I used 2 of the smaller ones. But I did a couple extra. I might just keep on layering them to layer them. So if you've never heat embossed before, I wanted to do it here, but I don't have an outlet to bring my heating tool over here yet. We picked everything up a while ago. But what you do is I just stamped with the stamp set using the Versamark ink, and then I dumped the gold embossing powder on it. And then I heat tooled it with the heat tool to melt the powder. And then I ran them through the Big Shot with the die cutout. So in these cases, I did not use the inner part that I showed you previously. I used the stamp set to give me me that look. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a bone folder, and what I did is I just curled all of these poinsettia petals down and on all of the layers. So I just curled them down, and you're going to see on the next card that I'm going to show you another little tip of the trick of what I did in a different card. So the first card, like I said, that the velvety one, I did nothing. I didn't fold the cardstock. I just went with the way it looked after running them through the machine. So, and this, if you're going to make these I love embossing too, Ruth. Embossing is one of my favorite things ever. It's so relaxing to me, and usually I incorporate that in one of my Christmas cards. So I make tons of Christmas cards. I send Christmas cards to my team. I send Christmas cards to my customers. I make Christmas cards for my husband to send to his customers. I make Christmas cards personally for my friends. Altogether, I make about 500 Christmas cards to send out over the Christmas season, and it's the one thing I love to do is make Christmas cards. So usually one of them is done with heat embossing, and I always say to myself, why did I do this to myself? I got so many things that I need to do, but I still need to sit and do something for fun once in a while for myself too, because otherwise it's kind of like, I want to be able to do something for me, if that makes sense, other than just doing stuff for classes and whatever. And heat embossing is definitely where it's at for me. I love the heat embossing. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and layer these together, again using glue dots. So I'm just going to put a glue dot in the center, and I'm going to layer these two big ones together, doing it the exact same way. Okay, I'm just going to overlay, and yes, they're going to look kind of like a dome down, but when I put it down to the card, it's going to kind of give me more of that look I'm looking for. It's not going to be quite so domed. And then I'm going to add the next one. And again, I'm going to be off-centering these, okay? So you want the petals a little off-centered. And then I'm going to add two of that one. This is so pretty. When I was making this card last night, this is one of the ones, Shelby, that I made last night. And I told her I had to get my stuff done, and she laughed at me that I needed to get it done because I had to have a Facebook Live tonight. It was quite cute. And then I'm going to stop with this one. On my sample, I used two of the, well, I'll put the other one on. I have it, why not, right? So you can see the more layers, the more thicker your poinsettia is going to look. So I'm just going to put that one on like that. Okay, so then I'm going to put that to the side. We're going to come back to that in just a couple of minutes. I used Early Espresso for my card base, and this is the 5.5 by 8.5. So that is going to be my base. And then I have Cherry Cobbler, 5.25 by 4, and then I used a piece of the wood grain paper as my mat, so it's 5 by 3 3/4. And I'm just going to layer these together onto here. And then I was trying to figure out what ribbon I wanted to use for this, and I we have a really pretty Early Espresso, but I wanted to kind of tie in the gold, so I chose to use this really pretty Very Vanilla. This is from the annual catalog. It's the metal edged Very Vanilla ribbon, so that is what I incorporated into my card. And all I did is went around the center and did the exact same thing again that I did on the first card with my glue dots, one on each end, wrapping it around the center, and then cutting a little piece off. Well, this one's kind of more of a big piece than a little piece, but that's okay. And go underneath there. And then I'm just going to angle these a little bit. Whoops, there we go. And now I'm going to adhere this down to my card itself, like this. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and layer this down to my card. This I used some dimensionals on, so let me bring in that brand new pack of dimensionals, and I think I put 2 or 3 on this, I'm not sure. I'm going to actually just put 2 on it. And so right now it's quite domed looking, right? That's okay. I'm going to take that off. And then when you put it on here, you push it down. Watch this magic. you push it down just enough to secure those dimensionals, and it still gives you the domed look, but it's kind of down in the middle and then domed. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that look. I then went ahead and used one of those pearls again. Love these pearls. And I'm going to adhere that down with a couple of glue dots. Let me tear off my tail that I don't need anymore. And that's gonna go here in the middle. Doesn't that just set that right off? And then I cut out some leaves. Now these two leaves are part of the bundle, the Poinsettia Place bundle. So you can see this one actually slipped a little, but it does the exact same thing. You have an inside that you can put on. So the leaf is the outside die cut. And then you have a, like I did in the other one, the leaf has a template to put on top of it. It's got two different sizes, okay? Two different sizes. And then I used a couple of dies from the Beautiful Bows dies. Now these are a couple of leaves from the Beautiful Bows. Now these dies are from the annual catalog and are carried over from last year. And these dies I just thought kind of gave me a little bit more greenery to go with that. And these I cut out with some of the Just Jade. I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on that. And this I just kind of stuck underneath here like that. And then I'm going to do one up here on the other side. And again, I'm not gluing it all down. Some of that's up by default. I'm just putting it on with a glue dot. And then I put a couple of these on together. So these I actually adhered together with glue dots. Let me find my glue dots. Just took a glue dot and I adhered this on like that. And then another couple of glue dots. Have glue dots be your friend. And stuck this down underneath here like that. Isn't that pretty? And then I topped the card off by stamping Happy Holidays. That is again just a 3/4 inch piece of cardstock. I think it's a 1.5 inch by 3/4 inch. And again, I'm going to banner cut this. And then this is just going to go on my card with some dimensionals, a couple dimensionals. Okay, so the next card I'm going to show you guys is, and it might be my last one I have time for. So the last couple I might have to just kind of show you guys how I did them. But I wanted to show you guys the domed look first, or the one with the red velvet, and then the dome shaped one, and how pretty it is by stamping that. Isn't that just a gorgeous card? So pretty. I just love that one. Now I didn't tell you guys what my ordering promotion is either. So any $30 order placed from tonight through Sunday night, you will receive 3 of these cards, done complete cards sent to you. And if I have extras of the ones, you can actually pick them if they're if I have them. If not, you'll have to get what you get. But that's why if you want to put your order in early, you'll get first pick on any 3 of the cards that you would like. There's a host code right on my website that you'll use, and I'll also link it. I'll give you the link to order right in the description of my video when I get home tonight from picking up Natalie. So the next card I'm going to show you is my non-traditional one, and this one was actually inspired by one of my friends. She was here when I was creating these cards, and she actually created most of this card, so I cannot take credit to for this one. And but it's gorgeous. Is it not gorgeous? And so this is done with Pool Party. And so what I did is I used some of the Pool Party. This is actually one of the cards that will be part of my class. So any of you that are coming to my class, this is a card that you'll be making. And what I did is I cut out 3 of the different Poinsettia Petals, and I actually inked around the edges of them. So I used the Pool Party ink, and I used a sponge, and I'm just going to ink around the edges of these ever so carefully. And if you don't get all of the way in, it's okay, because you're going to be covering up some of this anyway. So mainly you want to get around the outer edge of each of these. And you can see that I'm holding it pretty tight, because if I didn't, you're going to bend that petal right down. So I'm kind of holding it nice and tight right in the middle, and I find that it gives me better control to be able to incorporate the sponging. But look how that just makes this kind of come to life. So you know, never be afraid to sponge and ink around the edges of something. The distressing really just kind of, especially when it's a lighter color, it just really kind of helps bring that right to life. So let me finish up the rest of these. I'm so glad you guys liked that last card. That last one was probably one of my favorites. But I figured, you know, you could emboss in so many different colors. You could do Whisper White. Wouldn't Whisper White embossing powder on a pool party or even on a black look really nice? Or even a black poinsettia with some of like the black glimmer paper that we have. I mean, there were so many things running through my mind to make for this tonight, but I was like, okay, Kim, you have to stop. My whole point was to showcase for you guys the different techniques that you can do to get poinsettias to look differently. Not as many colors as I could show you, but I encourage you guys to kind of think outside the box a little bit, because think of all the different poinsettias that you see in the store. There are so many different colors out there now, and sometimes we just want maybe something that's not quite as traditional as your reds and greens for Christmas time. Okay, so now what I'm going to do on this is, we've cut these out in advance, and you can see they have the detail in there. Now what you can do is you can actually kind of take your nail or your finger and crease that and actually fold those petals in. By doing that, it's going to give you another little look to cards, with it being more textured like a poinsettia might be. Okay, so these I'm going to fold in a little bit. And I'm not doing it a lot, but I'm just kind of right on that line there, kind of giving it a little bit of form, and I'm going to do that with all 3 of these layers. It's just going to take a little bit of time here. So I would love to know what you guys would like to see me focus on next week, because I don't have my projects even started yet for next week's Facebook Live. I'm thinking maybe I need to eventually do Halloween and fall. I know I started Christmas early, but there's just so many Christmas things to showcase that if I didn't start early, I'd never have enough time. And Christmas, well, Valentine's Day is my favorite altogether, but Christmas comes in next because I just love designing stuff for the holidays. But I would love to have your idea of things that maybe you might like to see from either the annual catalog or the holiday catalog. And if I have it, I'll definitely spend some time playing with it. So anyway, okay, so those are all kind of folded now, right? So Pat's voting for Halloween. We can definitely do some Halloween. All right, so this I'm gonna layer the exact same way. I'm gonna just kind of alternate those petals, putting it right down in the middle. But can you see the dimension that I got by doing the folding on those leaves? So pretty. And then I'm going to also show you guys another option for, look at that. Look how pretty. Another option for the center is simply by putting on some rhinestones. So for this one, oh, this is the other thing I wanted to show you. So some of that flocked paper, let me bring this flocked paper back in. So this piece of flocked paper right here, you can also use your dies to cut some of this out. So these little sprigs right here are cut out of this paper using a die. Those leaves you can also cut out the exact same way by using the dies to cut those leaves. And then the same as the poinsettias. So this last one right here, I don't want to lose those. Let me put them down. So this last piece of this flocked, I like to call it flocked on paper, but some of these flowers could also be cut out with those dies. So again, makes it even more versatile for you to be able to do different things with it. Okay, so for this one, I used a piece of the Designer Series paper as one of my mats. This is 5 by 3 3/4, so this is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm just going to adhere these together. And this adhesive is actually working really good. I'm not having to do the whole lift up thing and snap it. So I'm wondering if I'm just getting better with it, or if they actually, oh, Donna's vote for Beautiful Autumn. Oh my gosh, yes, you're definitely gonna be getting stuff with Beautiful Autumn. I cannot wait to show you guys that one. I've already actually got some cards created with that. It'll be a class that I'll be offering next month, both local and online, so be on the lookout for that one to come. Okay, so I'm just gonna layer that on there like that. And then this is gonna go on here with some dimensionals. So I'm just gonna get a couple of dimensionals. And I'm just going to do one on this one. You'll see why here in just a minute. I want to add these little pieces of ribbon. So what I did on the ribbon, I'm not sure if you can even hardly see the ribbon, but it's the really pretty sheer pool party ribbon that's in our annual catalog. And instead of doing the little zigzaggy through it, I actually just put the little pieces where I wanted them, because that way it's saved on ribbon. And I'm always looking at a way to utilize my product to get the bigger bang for the buck, so to speak. So all I did on this is I cut one like that. Whoops, let me get that weird edge off. And then all I'm gonna do is get a glue dot, and I'm going to glue dot it in the middle. And then I'm going to fold this over like that. Okay, so what I'm doing is the one right down here on the bottom. And then I'm gonna glue dot this. Can you see why you need to buy some glue dots? If you don't have glue dots in your collection, you definitely need to buy some glue dots. They are my staple when it comes to doing little shortcuts. So I just glued that one in there. No one's gonna be able to see that I didn't go all the way up and around. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with my little loop-de-loops. So from one of my little loops, I'm just gonna loop it like that, and again, glue dot it. And now our holiday catalog is live, so you could order this awesome bundle right now and have it in the next week or so to be able to craft with it. My Facebook Live, I always post these to YouTube as well. You can always go back and watch the replay for inspiration on these cards again. But I believe the bundle itself, so you can actually get to the entire bundle. Let me look at that price, because when I say the entire bundle, it includes the everything you see on this page. So you could get the paper, the poinsettia, the specialty paper, the stamp set and the dies, the little pearl centers, and the ribbon, all for $94. And then I would send you 3 of these cards completed so that you'd be able to make more of them. And we're going to add one more of those little things. So again, I'm just going to loop this over. So this is kind of how I cheat sometimes when I want my ribbon to go further, or I want don't want to have to sit there and loop it all through, because nobody's going to be able to really look at this and say, oh, how did she do that? And if they do, they might be like, oh, I need to start doing that, because that's really a cool idea. Okay, and then I'm going to top this card off with some rhinestones. Actually, on this one, I'm gonna, I think, use the pearl center, just because, why not? Kind of give you an idea of the different look that you can create with it. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment later, because you guys kind of know how to do that. Cut my little banner in it, and that's gonna go on that card. Okay, so let me showcase for you guys and just show you these last couple of cards that I have. I knew I wouldn't get through them all because, again, I over-created. But let me show you this one right here, because this one is actually the designer series paper. So when I showed you that designer series paper and it was all cut up, there was a reason why it was all cut up. So this is just this designer series paper, and one of these flowers, I think it's this one right here, there's actually a die for it. One of them is a die for it. One of it you have to fussy cut. But I just cut out 2 of those. Oh, and the other thing I didn't do on this card is I didn't put the little flocked pieces in the flowers, but you guys can kind of see that on the sample there. So I would incorporate them as well. Okay. So this I just fussy cut and dimensional that on. This is the card mat is Old Olive 5 1/4 by 4, and then my 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, 4 by 3. I added the little ribbon to it, but you kind of get the idea. But I wanted to show you a card that I designed using just the designer series paper, so that you can kind of see how you don't need to do anything on that one. And then the next card I'm going to show you is another one of my non-traditional cards. Okay, I love pink, right? So check out this one. I love this card. So this used the Flirty Flamingo, and I did the ribbon the exact same way. It looks like I went up and around and down. I did not. I stuck that through. You can see it right here. It's just stuck up in there. And then this is also stuck up in there. From it being in its little plastic bag, it's folded over, but this was normally up like that. And it'll eventually get that way again. I used some of the designer series paper that matched this, the green here and these little sprigs that kind of matched and tied that red paper in. Love that one. And then the final thing I want to share with you guys is a little home decor piece that I designed last night. Again, when I start designing, sometimes I feel like I go crazy, and I don't know, I just do, because I love this suite. If I had the time to make all 80 of my personal Christmas cards with it, I would, but I don't. But this is, I hope the glass in it doesn't give you guys too much of a glare, but this is my little home decor piece that I created. I used the petal pink, and if I was to do it again, I'd probably ink around the edges of them, but I was in kind of a hurry to get it designed. I'm hoping you guys can see it okay. And then this is actually the sprig punch. So that is just the sprig punch that I used, and to get all of the greenery on it. And I used the little pearls, even put one over there. And then this is some of the designer series paper, and then I put it in a 5x7 frame, but I really like it. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm thinking I'm holding it right here at a really good level that you guys can see it without the glare from my lights in my basement. But love that one. And then I'm going to share with you a couple of cards. Now, I did not create these. I participate in swaps and monthly swaps, or when a new catalog comes out, I participate in a swaps. And this is one of the swap cards. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of the different colors, this is a card created in balmy blue using some vellum. Again, I did not create these cards. So what you're seeing here is just a couple of the swap cards. And I've already removed the designers' names from them, from the bags. So I apologize if any of my people who made these are watching and I haven't been able to give you credit for them. And that is another one that was created using some of the other stuff here too as well. And that incorporates a different stamp set from the holiday catalog. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight's presentation on different ways that you can use that awesome bundle to incorporate it into, you know, actually just using the designer series paper to be able to make cards, non-traditional, which is what you see right here that I created. And then last but not least, the pretty velvet one, and probably my favorite from tonight, which is this gorgeous one where I did the heat embossing to it. So anyway, and then finally the project that I just kind of showcased, which was my little home decor framed piece. And these, what I did on this one, I will show you. This one I actually did the technique where I folded the cardstock in half, and this one I actually did it with the bone folder. So one kind of is domed down, one's domed up, just to give it different dimension in the frame. And I really like how that turned out. So anyway, thank you all so very much for joining me tonight. I hope that you have enjoyed my presentation and my and all of my cute projects with this bundle, and I hope that you consider adding it to your collection for more inspiration. You can always refer back to this video or check me out on YouTube. This will be posted, usually I post it over the weekend. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would appreciate you ordering this from me so you can make lots of stuff with it. So thanks everyone, have a great evening, and I'll be back here next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not sure yet what I'll be designing, but I'm sure you'll love it. Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.